Good afternoon, gang, it's Johnsy here, and I'm just about to start my microphone test. So just to explain what's going to happen here, currently you're listening to my Rode microphone plugged straight directly into the media mod on the GoPro. I'm going to take this onto a dual carriageway in a moment, and I'm going to get the bike up to roughly around 50 miles per hour, and then I'm going to lift the visor up. I'm going to give you some idea of how the mic responds to wind hitting it, and then I'll close the visor. The first test obviously is going to be one pretty familiar to my sound because this is my standard configuration. Secondly, I'm going to plug in the Synco Lavalier mic, which I have right next to the Rode mic as it is in the helmet. So I'll show a picture of this as well, just so you can see exactly where they are in relation to each other. Obviously I can't do anything else but the way it's set up, so yeah, they're not in the exact same spot, but they're as close as you can get them to each other. So then third, I'm going to do a test where I will have the Rode mic plugged into the Synco system, which is the wireless system, and I'm going to do the same thing again where I'll ride on the dual carriageway up to 50 miles an hour, and then I'll do the same test again using the Rode microphone plugged into the Synco. Then I'm going to flip it and I'm going to use the Rode Wireless Go system, firstly with the Synco mic plugged into it, and then secondly with the Synco mic the Rode mic plugged in. So essentially it's every combination you can do really. What this is going to do here, it's going to test all the microphones and it's going to test all of the wireless equipment as well. Essentially, if anyone else is thinking of getting into motovlogging, it gives you a rough idea of like, is it worth spending the extra money, or is it, you know, the Synco system good enough? Now, I've done a little bit of testing with the Synco system already, not on the bike. This is my first go out on the bike, and it seems really hot. By hot it's really responsive to sound, so it's picking the sounds up a lot. So I imagine that when I get up to about 50 mile an hour and the wind's hitting against the mic, it's going to distort to hell. One thing I will also point out just before we get started on this, I have got both wireless systems set to 0 decibels of gain. Essentially you can turn, if it's a really quiet source, you can turn the gain up on the microphone receiver, and that usually adds in more noise, but it obviously makes it better if you need to boost the signal. Both of these are set on the lowest setting just to keep it fair and impartial. You know, I didn't want it where one of them's gained and you're hearing loads of background noise because it's got the gain on it. So we're not far away from starting these tests, guys. I just wanted to run through the conditions of what I'm doing first before I start the actual the test itself. So hopefully this will be really good for some of you guys out there if you're thinking of starting, or if you've already started and you just, you know, maybe want to upgrade. It'll give you an idea of like which, you know, is the better route to go. I started with Rode. I use Rode microphones when I'm doing recording and stuff anyway, so I'm used to the brand. I know they make fairly decent quality equipment. It's not the most expensive stuff out there. There's clearly much more expensive high-end audio gear out there, but for a consumer level they're pretty good. I'd never heard of the Synco system, the G2 is, or G1, whatever it is. I'd never heard of this till about a week or two ago. And one of my comrades in moto vlogging, Mr. Michael Lilly up in Scotland, was having loads of grief with his system he got. And I was trying to listen to the recordings and work out what it was going to be, what was causing the problems and such. And in the end I was like, you know what, I'll just get one of these sets myself and let's have a little listen to what it sounds like and see if it's something, it's a, you know, a design flaw, or if he's just got a faulty setup. So that's essentially what I'm doing here now. I've got myself the same setup that he's using, and yeah, let's test it out. Now, it's not a very windy day here today. It's actually pretty tame, which I know I'm doing a wind test, but this is kind of good. This is what I want. I want the wind of actually riding from you know, being on a motorway or a what's it called, dual carriageway, as opposed to being blasted by wind. I don't know if you can see, but there's not much movement going on in the trees. So like I say, most of what we're going to be capturing here is actually the wind of the speed we're doing, and it should keep it fairly consistent as well. So when I do the test, I'm going to start with the visor down in closed position, which is this, and then halfway along I'm going to make an announcement and I'm going to open the visor up and let the wind hit in. Okay. Oh, we're on green as well. Come on, 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 come on. Yes. Thoughts. Test number 1 begins. Rode Smart Lav Plus and adapter plugged into a media mod on a GoPro Hero 8. No audio processing. Currently riding at 40 mile an hour, just getting it up now to 50. Sorry for not having a fast bike. Okay, now at 50 miles per hour, 50 miles an hour. Okay, I'm going to maintain speed of 50 mile an hour just so I can keep this consistent. And in 5 seconds, I'm going to bring up the visor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Visor's now fully up. I'm still maintaining 50 miles per hour. Now I can hear the wind blowing straight into my helmet here, so I'm sure the microphone's picking up some wind as well. I'm fairly confident I know this setup well enough to know that it's not going to be distorting. You'll still hear my voice clear enough, but on top of that, it should be picking up some of this wind noise as well. Okay, so I'm still at 50 miles per hour. 50 miles per hour. And if you can hear that whistling noise, that is purely from the wind hitting us. You can see the trees on the right hand side. There's very little movement. It's actually a really calm day today. Okay, 50 mile an hour, starting to slow down now. Slowing down, back down to 40. And now to 30. And here we are. I'm pulling off here, guys. I'm now going to change the microphones over and then we'll restart the test. Okay guys, we're about to start test number 2. Test number 2 involves the Synco microphone that comes included with the Synco wireless transmitter receiver set. I think it's the G1 it's called. So I'm just coming onto the same dual carriageway. Obviously I'm a junction along, but it's the same dual carriageway. And let's start this test. Okay, so I'm going to get up to 50 miles per hour again. Here we go. Let's go. On currently on 30 mile an hour. Visor is fully down. Same again. Okay, 40 miles an hour now. And we're soon coming up to 50 miles an hour. Okay. It's just on 50 mile an hour now. So I'm maintaining 50 mile an hour, and in 5 seconds I'm going to bring the visor up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, visor is now fully up, and I'm still maintaining 50 miles per hour and doing this. 50. So again guys, you should be hearing a little bit of whistling noise coming towards the mic. Is this any louder? How does my voice sound? Is it clearer? Is it distorted? Just let me know what you think. I'm just going to keep talking away, talking a load of rubbish. Obviously keep you guys hearing what I've got to say. Lots of M's in there because I always say M. Again, trees are very still, and this is just standard daily wind. Okay, so you should be getting an idea now definitely of how this microphone sounds compared to my normal speaking voice on the Rode microphone. And I'm going to be pulling off shortly, where I'll set up the first of the wireless systems. The first one I'm going to set up is going to be the Rode Wireless Go system, and that first test will be with this same microphone, the Synco, and then you can all let me know what you think. Okay, I'm slowing down now, getting to 40 mile an hour, and I'm coming off. Okay, down to 30 mile an hour, and we're done. Okay guys, a few minutes have just passed, and I've now changed the setup. I am now wireless on this bike for the first time. So the first system I'm testing with you here is the Rode Wireless Go. So the transmitter and the receiver are both Rode Wireless Go, and I have the Synco Lavalier mic, which comes with the Synco wireless system plugged into it. So what you're hearing now is two different brands working together. So let me know what you think. I've just hit 50 miles an hour, 50 again, and in a couple of seconds time I'm going to be bring the visor up. Okay, nice wave off the biker there. So 50 miles per hour now. Visor is up. Let me know what the wind noises you're hearing. Is there any other background noise which we weren't picking up before? This is the test. I've got to slow down here now, obviously. Okay, so I've dropped down to 30 miles per hour because of traffic. Just bringing it back up. Visor is still up. Again, listening out here now, is this microphone hotter than the standard Rode one? I'm going to be switching the microphones over in a second, so we're going to do the same test again. Let me know. So obviously I've had to drop my speed a little bit here just because of traffic. So I'm doing 40 mile an hour with the visor up. I'm going to try and pick it up a little bit more just before I come off this road. Okay, so let's do this. 40. So I'm 50 mile an hour, visor fully up. And in a second's time I'm going to change over to the Rode Wireless Go mic. Hello, Motorbike. Okay, 40 mile an hour, coming to a slow down now. Okay. How's that sounding, gang? Now, without knowing any of this, because I'm doing the test for the first time here now, I've got a feeling that that's going to sound really bad. I'm thinking it's the microphone that's the issue. The wireless receivers surely wouldn't be adding that much noise on. Who knows? We'll find out. But anyway, this is the only way to extensively test everything, is to do these little A/B comparisons of all of the equipment separately. Okay, so I'm just going to pull into the same lay-by I used before, and I'm going to swap the equipment over, and we're just going to do this test again. See you in a mo. Okay gang, so we're ready to start the next test. So this test now is the Rode wireless Go system with a Rode lavalier mic plugged in. I just want to clarify as well that the receiver and the transmitter, although they aren't actually connected to each other via cables, they are both stored in the same pocket in my coat. It's the only real way I can make sure they're not falling off. So this isn't going to be good for doing distance. I might do something later on to test the distances, but this is purely just for wind and mechanical noise and such. So here we go. Right, we're back on the road and we're getting it up now. So I'm on 40 miles per hour. I'm just getting it up, so nearly up to 50. Okay, there we go, 50 miles per hour. Obviously my visor is down, starting each of these tests with the visor in the downward position, so there shouldn't be too much noise coming through. And in a couple of seconds time I'm going to open up the visor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Visor is now fully up, so again wind should be hitting in. One thing I will say, the difference between these two sets, the microphone on the the microphone on the Rode Smart Lav is smaller. The capsule itself is smaller than the one that comes on the Synco, so it's actually just ever so slightly protruding over the top of the little shield I've got, which the clip's onto, so that could actually also just affect a little bit of wind noise. I've tried to bury it as much as possible to make sure they're getting pretty even protection, but yeah, it's just a slightly bigger microphone, so it's just sticking over the top a little bit more. So as soon as these lights go, I'm going to get back up to 50, and then I'm going to switch it over to the Synco sets, and that's where we'll do our final tests. Okay guys, right, so let's go. We're getting back up, 20 mile an hour, 30, 30, up to 40, 40. I just want to hit that magic 50. I know I'm on a 60 mile per hour road, just in case anyone's wondering. I don't even think this bike could do 60, I'm not even willing to try and push it. He probably will make 60, but I'm not doing that today. 50 mile per hour I think is good enough. Certainly with the visor being completely up as well. I mean, that's as much wind as you're going to ever really get coming through it. Because you're going to have your visor down if you're going faster than this. Unless you're nuts. Okay, so 50 miles per hour, guys. It's starting to get a bit dark now. Winter's drawing in. Okay, so 50, I'm starting to slow down now, back to 40 mile an hour, and there we go, we're coming off. I'm just going to make my last change on the equipment and do our last tests. Okay guys, I've now swapped over from the Rode wireless Go system to the Synco G2 system. Currently got the Synco Lavalier mic plugged in, and I'm now getting the bike up to 50 miles an hour. Let's go. Now just for a bit of clarity, I should have posted this out a bit earlier. only have one system running at a time, so I've actually turned off the Rode system now, so that there's no interference from that. They both work on the same band, so that would have been quite bad. It would have interfered, or possibly interfered, if I'd left both sets on at the same time. So yeah, the Rode set is turned off now, and in a couple of seconds I'm going to bring the visor up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the visor is fully up. I'm doing 50 miles per hour, maintaining 50 miles an hour. Like I said before, my just stick out just ever so slightly. I'm going to photograph so you can see how much. Alright, I'm going to stop. Oh, I haven't got brakes on this thing, it's just sponges. There we go, actually did get to stop. Okay, so this is also quite good. Give us a minute to just hear what the system sounds like without the wind blowing as well, and obviously with the bike being stationary. What's the quality like? Is it clipping? Does it sound better? Does it sound cheaper? I think this is certainly going to be a cheaper made microphone than the Rode. What are your thoughts on it? So this is the second to last test I'm doing now. The final one's going to be the Synco system with the Rode Wireless Go microphone plugged in. Where they're going. Yeah, gang. So I hope this was useful for you anyway. And if you'd like me doing any more things like this, please let me know. If I can be of help to anyone, then great, you know. It's only took me, what, 10 minutes to come out and do this, so it's no biggie really. Well, sounds like some emergency service coming in. Where's that coming from? Coming from the right, is it? Oh, there we go. We're getting chased by the filth. There we go, there we go, there we go. 405 per hour. Getting chased by filth. Getting chased by filth. Starting to get 50 per hour. Get on that van, try to outdo the filth. Unbelievable. Right, so 50 miles per hour, just about to drop down now, and we're going to turn off to the same final test. However, this time changing the microphone to the Rode. I think it's good doing this all at the same stretch of road at the same time, because then you can't be like, oh, it was a windier day, or what. The day is really calm and temperate, so it's definitely an excellent test condition, and it's not raining, which is a bonus, because when it's raining it's grim. Okay gang, I'm going to turn off here into my favourite lay-by, and we're going to do our final swap. There we go. Okay gang, we're on our way home. I'm now just about to start the final test, which is the Rode Smart Lav Plus microphone plugged into the Synco G2 wireless system. Again, the transmitter and the receiver, although they're not wired to each other, are in the same pocket of my coat, so there's not that much difference in distance between the two of them. However, I still think that even if you were to be using this system and you were putting it somewhere else on a bike, I think the range wouldn't get interrupted too badly. Oh mate. Okay, just got a pause trying to razz up my arse. Speaking of which, okay, so let's get this up now. Right, we're getting to 50 mile an hour. Here we go. So we're on 50 mile an hour now. This is the Synco G2 wireless system with a Rode Smart Lav Plus microphone plugged in. And in a couple of seconds time, I'm going to bring up the visor. Bring up the visor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Visor is now fully up. 50 miles per hour. On our way home, final test of the afternoon. Let me know, guys. How's this sound? How's this sound compared to the road? How does this sound compared to going straight into the media mod itself? For me personally, I don't need these systems for being on the bike because I've got my camera attached to the helmet. Well, as a lot of you guys out there will have a mount on your handlebars, and you may need to wirelessly send audio. So one of these systems might be ideal for you. You could technically use a cable, but you might feel like a safety issue with it having a cable hanging down. You know, you can catch it and pull something off. So it is definitely a good thing to test out this. You know, it's not everyone's got the same preference when it comes to recording. There we go. So we've just dropped down now. I'm just going to leave this recording, guys, till I get back to the pub. I will drop the visor back down shortly though, because I think we've got enough there at 50 mile an hour with the visor up. So there we go, dudes. Right, okay, so I'm dropping the visor in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Fully closed visor. And you've got my nice tones coming to you. Hopefully you can hear all this and this hasn't just been a complete waste of time. Like I say, I've only tested the Synco system once, and that was in my vocal booth. Everything seemed to run really hot on it. The signal was clipping even with everything turned down low, and even with the microphone nowhere near me. So it'll be interesting to get back and analyse all of this and see exactly what's going on. Now it could be that the Synco system, although it's a couple of pound cheaper than the Rode, it might actually be just as good as it, minus the microphone, at which point you just buy a better microphone and you've got yourself a good setup. I'm not expecting it to be as good as the Rode, mainly because of that exact reason. It is a cheaper system. One thing I thought I liked about it was when Michael had a problem with his set, they got in touch with him on the video on YouTube and, you know, said, listen, you're having problems, like, get in touch, give us your email, we'll get in touch with you. And I thought, wow, that's like really proactive customer service. You know, that's really looking after you if you've got a problem with the things. It turned out they actually didn't want the YouTube video to stay live because obviously it's saying how bad the system is, and I feel it does sound like he did get a dodgy thing, but at the end of the day, you've got to be impartial. You can't be bought. No one's given me money to make this. In fact, it's cost me money because I've gone out and bought the set. I would never do that anyway. You know, if someone gave me something to promote on here, I'm just not interested. I'm not driven by money. I don't care. If I was driven by money, I'd be trying to get a really well-paid job somewhere and be driving around on a super bike with a Porsche or some stupid vehicle like that. So yeah, I'm not interested. I'm doing this purely on the sense of what's the best for you guys out there. You know, if you're looking for doing vlogs yourself what's a decent setup to use.